And the number one pick in the NBA draft is LeBron James Jr.
And his
Let's dig
dad.
into it. Welcome back to the Deep Digger Sports Pod. I'm your host, D. Today we are discussing LeBron James Jr. declaring for the NBA draft. But before we dig into it, go ahead, my co-host, Drew.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're talking everything NFL draft coming up, basketball playoffs coming up. We're about to conclude March Madness, so make sure you subscribe.
USC basketball player. I don't know how. And LeBron James' son.
He didn't just
LeBron James.
declare for the draft, though. He also hit that transfer portal.
Yes. So USC basketball player, LeBron James' son, Bronny James, has hit the transfer portal. He's also hit the he's declared for the NBA draft. What are your thoughts on this?
Who's gonna pay him? Who's gonna pay him? He said, which one of y'all gonna bring my money? Because whatever college is gonna get him, they're gonna have to pay. But whatever team wants him, I mean, he's still gonna be getting an NBA check. So I think he's fine either way. I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready for the league. I think he's going to be, but he still looks young. I mean, he still looks like a kid to me. Obviously, he had the heart issue. He's coming off of that. I'm not going to really talk his stats because he didn't get to play that much. USC was not a good program. Their coaching sucked. I think there's rumors that he's going to just end up at UCLA so he can stay home. I would love to see him play for a smaller school and just be the guy, be a leader. And really, I want to see him have success in a tournament and carry a team forward. Like, I wouldn't want him to rush into the league because he wants to play with his dad when his dad never got the college experience. I would love to see Bronny James in March.
I 100% agree with you. I really wish that he would stay in school, literally any school. Like, my preference, I know that he had gone and visited Ohio State, and according to Mark Titus, like, that visit went extremely well. Apparently, everyone in the program thought that Bronny was going to be committing to Ohio State. They were like, hey, it was a good visit. And so I think that he should go there. One, you get a great college experience. You're in the Big Ten. You have a prestigious program in Ohio State that really truly cares about college basketball. And two, you get to kind of build out with the rest of your team. It's a team that just fired their head coach, had an interim coach that they really believe in, and they won out, I believe, or they went like they only had 2 losses with that interim coach and went to the NIT. They just barely missed a bid in the NCAA tournament. But I think that would be a good spot for him to go back again, or supposedly LeBron James was going to go in Ohio State. It's close to like where they live in Ohio. So I think that'd be cool. But realistically, I do like this move as far as declaring for the NBA draft. This is what many scouts in the NBA are calling the worst NBA draft in history. So why not test what you can get in this NBA draft, see where you can go, see where teams are valuing you, and understand where your game is. He has nothing to lose by declaring. Who's the number 1 pick in this draft? Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepard, who is it? There's not a distinctive number 1, and realistically, there's not a whole lot of depth to this NBA draft. Who's to say that someone isn't going to take fuck it, let's go ahead and draft him, and hopefully LeBron James decides to just be like, hey, I'm going to go play with Bronny, get me on that team in the lottery, you know?
Yeah, and where I like this for LeBron too, say a team does take a chance and draft Bronny. I don't know where they value him. Would the name LeBron James push him into the first round? I doubt it. I'd probably say like a second round pick. I'd take a flyer on him. The second round pick, the second round starts, I'd take him and be like, listen, the Lakers, this works out perfect for you because you can get off of LeBron now. We'll trade you. We'll give you a little bit of compensation. LeBron gets to play with his son, and the Lakers get to shift their focus to Anthony Davis and kind of build out the rest of that roster. So something we talked about before on this pod was do you trade LeBron at this point if you can? And I think if he gets to that point where he wants to play with Bronny, hey, LeBron, let me get a first round pick for you. Let me get, a couple role players. I'm happy with that. So I think that's where I'm sitting with Bronny in the draft and playing with his dad. Now, for Bronny himself in the long run, I don't think this is a great move. I think the second LeBron retires, even with LeBron on the team, I think Bronny's a bench player, deep bench player right now in the league. Uh, I think his IQ's there. I think he's a really smart player. He can play defense, but we just haven't seen him do it enough. We haven't seen him score consistently like that. We haven't seen him play a high number of minutes. And I know that's coming off the hard thing, but you want to see a player do that and do it consistently. And we got where you're saying, I think this works a little bit against him, where we got a lot of guys who came out in the first year, a lot of young guys going in the draft, and it's taking a while for them to click. And what's working in the league right now, 4-year players who know how to play in a system, and those guys are starting to play really well. And so if you get a bunch of those guys coming out, and Bronny, who's still learning the game, who's learning to play at this pace, I could see him getting buried on a bench for a guy that's played 4 years and carried a team deep into a tournament run. So I think in the long run, is he going to get a lot of play time? Does he want to go to college and get more play time? Even being like a 6-man on a really good program would really benefit him in the long run. I think he doesn't have to be the star. There's guys getting drafted off the bench in the league, but I think he needs to prove himself a little more and grow a little bit as a player.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's a couple people that are going to be drafted again very high that are coming off the bench. Again, Rob Dillingham, shout out Donda Canopy, Reed Shepard. They are going to be coming off the bench and be drafted really high in this NBA draft. But at the same time, this is a weak NBA draft. So I'm fine with him testing the waters and see, hey, maybe I can get into this lottery. Maybe then I could work myself in if, again, it's a package deal with me and my dad, and we're both going to be playing on the same team. I could then work myself into some minutes. I can get coached up at an NBA level. I think that he didn't get a fair shake with his heart problem, to where he didn't have the entire offseason to work with the USC coaches. But you know that damn well he is going to get the best coaching possible if he is on the same team with his dad.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of play time too then. Like, does he value the development and just being with his dad, or does he want to play actually? And I think why rush it? Why rush getting into the league when you can spend another year being a kid in college, hanging out, and just like enjoying a world that LeBron himself never enjoyed, getting in a tournament. I really want to see him do that, and I want to see how he handles that situation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really think that he should stay in college. But if the money's right and the pick is right, I mean, realistically, if you're an NBA team and you invest let's go out on a limb here and say someone was like, fuck it, you know what? This draft sucks dick. Let's draft Bronny James at number 10. If you invest a number 10 pick in Bronny James, then you are going to put all your eggs in that basket and make sure that he succeeds. So if I'm Bronny James, I'm not going to stay another year if I'm drafted number 10. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though, where I'm kind of like worried big picture for Bronny. Say he does get, let's say he's the 15th pick in the draft. He goes and plays with the dad for 1 year. LeBron retires in a year. And then it's taking Bronny 3-4 more years to develop into a role player in this league. What's to say at that point, does his name even matter? Is he getting sent to the G League? Is he Scottie Pippen Jr. right now? Is he fighting to get minutes? Is he not making the roster? And that's when once LeBron retires, that aura kind of goes away. And that's when he has to stand on his own. So it's not just the first year as a rookie playing with LeBron. It's that second year when if LeBron retires, now you're just Bronny. Now you're just a guy. And now you're a guy that we spent a high pick on who is not playing and not putting up points for us And now we're looking back and be like, well, you know, you only scored 5 points a game in college. Maybe we send you the G League, and now you're fighting. Now you have to push to develop, and it's just adding another level of stress to a career that, I mean, you don't have to start that way.
I think, I mean, the influence of LeBron goes way deeper than we think. Like, not only is it LeBron, but it's LeBron and Clutch Sports, which he helped to build with Rich Paul. So I think there's a lot of influence that goes into, hey, are we really going to piss off LeBron and Rich Paul? Are we going to bury Bronny James at the end of the bench? Or, hey, you know what? Are we going to send him to the G League? I don't think Bronny James is ever going to see the G League. If we're going to be completely honest, he's always got a spot at the end of the bench on any NBA roster.
I mean, and that's up to Bronny. Is he happy with that, or is he trying to do something more? Or like, it's a weird situation. Like, yeah, nepotism coming into play, but I think he can be a really good player in the league. But where's the line of like, oh man, he's not developing into that good player, but also he's LeBron James' son, and so he's gonna be around. And I think that's where we're just gonna have to watch it play out.
And not only that, he's LeBron James' son. And I think too, Bryce is going to be pretty fucking good, dude. I think
Yeah,
Bryce coming up is also going to very much influence Bronny James' future.
I just don't know how much. It is weird that because LeBron is like involved in the agency, like Michael Jordan's sons didn't get like, yeah, we're gonna keep you on a roster for 10 years because you're Michael Jordan. Like Scottie Pippen's kid fighting for roster spots now. He's starting to develop a little bit. There's like a lot of players' children that you could go through the league where you're like, man, none of them kind of lived up to their parents. I'm Steph outplayed his obviously Clay, but a lot of those big names, their kids didn't get, carried in the league. And I think it's for most of these stars, it's not about their name. It's about, can your kid produce for us? And with this situation, it's like a little bit different.
But LeBron James has done something completely different than what Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, all of these other guys have done. He's helped to build one of the premier agencies in the entire league. Clutch Sports has such a chokehold on all of these NBA GMs to where they can call the shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be a wild NBA offseason. We're going to see what happens. We'll keep you updated on Bronny James. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time.
Later.